was terrible. That's not good. And you know, I wish I had more to tell you about it, the details of things, but I got to watch it, and then I'll have more for you. But very, very frustrating because to go out there the first drive, move the ball, see what they're doing, blitzes, throwing hots, doing all that stuff, and then for stuff to not go that way anymore, that hurts.
Derek, at 1-7, nobody on that locker road, I'm sure, anticipated this.
Yeah.
How do you prevent or stop doubt from creeping in terms of the rest of the season? You still got 8 games to play.
No doubt, right? There's still 8 games, and you got to hope that Coach and Mr. McKenzie have brought in the right people. Because everyone's human. When you go through hard things, especially nowadays, a lot of people just give up. But I think that I believe that just talking to our guys, talking to our leaders. I mean, no one's giving up, no one's giving in. I think, something I just kept saying was we still got to compete as men. We're down 30 in the fourth quarter, and we still got to compete. You still got to give it your all. And I think that as we continue to go forward, that's all we can do. We can't control the outcome in certain aspects of our lives, but when it comes to football, you can prepare your tail off, and you can go out there and compete your tail off also. So I think that we have the right group of guys, and it's going to be up to the older guys to show the young guys what it looks like.
When you do go out there, and after what coaches have talked about the last couple of weeks of decent practice sessions,
yeah, oh yeah,
and then it still doesn't work out, doesn't that make any doubt in the process?
No, I see where you're trying to go with the doubt thing, and I'm not someone that doubts anything. You know that. We've been around each other a long time, and the guys that we have around us, we watch the film, and everyone, Coach Gruden is open about all the mistakes. You know what I mean? When we all sit in the same room together as collectively, and we all see, hey, this needs to be better, that needs to be better, this needs to be better, and so we all see it, and so that way there's no other voice saying, but if he would have done this or if he would have done that. It's up there on the screen for everybody to see. So I say it that way because every man sitting in that chair knows and is accountable in front of everyone, I should have done better. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Is there a similar reaction to Gruden taking you out as when he was going to do that in London?
Sorry, say it again.
When you in London, you said, you really wanted to go back in when he was going to take you out.
Oh, it's yeah.
What was your reaction this time?
Same. I told him the same thing. Really? Just because I've been in some games where we've lost like this before, and the worst part is not being able to just finish it, But I think KO had got, hurt or taken out or whatever, and he came up to me and said, that's enough. He just said, I don't want to see you getting hit anymore. So, and I obviously said some things, and he just said, no, it's all right. So it's the same kind of deal.
What becomes a realistic goal for this team? 8 more games? What do you want to see this team accomplish, to build into the offseason?
I think that dog inside of you when things suck, just to, still fight. I know a group of guys. I got some guys that I'd want to put in a foxhole with me. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of them, and so we got to make sure going forward. When I look at each man in the eye, I tell them before the game, you're going to get everything that I have. I yell at our guys. You're going to get everything I got. That's not a thing. And I want to make sure when I look in everybody's eyes, that's the same thing. I think going forward, we build that trust and see who really wants to be a part of this. You see who really wants to be here, who really wants to turn this thing around, who really wants to do the hard things that nobody else wants to do. It's easy to say, I'll go do it somewhere else. That's easy. I think we figure that out. And I think that going forward, we find out who's a Raider, honestly, because I love this place and I'm not going anywhere. So, I'm in it for the long haul, and I want to be here, and I want to see the men step up and say, I want to do that too. And just listen to some of our vets talk, man. It encouraged me a lot. I'm not going to lie. I didn't say a word when we came in after the game, and I just listened. And we got some of those guys.
When there's so much turnover, though,
yeah.
At a high level,
yeah.
Can you understand if guys maybe in the bottom third of the roster are wondering if they're going to be here, if they should be here?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's natural. That's normal because with this business, I'll never forget James Jones, Marcel Reese, Seawood, Tuck, Justin Tuck. They would always tell me, you got to bring it all the time because this league, they will cut anybody, they will trade anybody. We know that, and so there's always a sense of, man, I got to show up, And so the thing I think that we're at right now is who is going to continue to want to show up, who's going to continue to fight, because those are the kind of men that you want on the team when it starts going well. You know what I mean? And those are the kind of guys that when coach is around or a leader's not around, one of our leaders, you know that everyone in the locker room, the conversations that they're having are only building us forward, because the ones that pull you away, you don't want any of those guys.
Are you as confident as a quarterback right now going into games as you were 2 years ago?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, I think obviously, with Coach Gruden, I mean, I feel more prepared, than I ever have in my life, and we've had some good seasons. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're not as efficient or things like that. A lot of things are, going to our whole team playing well, and but every year you're in this league, you only get smarter if you keep working at it. Every year you're in this league, you only get more confident and things like that. So every time I go into the game, Rich Gannon told me, he said, Derek. He said, I know that you've had great coaches, because he would have conversations with those guys doing the CBA. He said, I know you've had great coaches. He said, with Coach Gruden, he said, even it just goes to another level. You're going to be so prepared and confident for each game. And I give Rich credit, because he's been dead on. Every game I've walked into, I know the issues. I know what needs to happen for us to win. I mean, to a T, So if those things aren't going, you kind of try and figure out some more things during the game to get it right. But yeah, Rich hit it dead on. I feel very confident when I take the field with Coach Gruden.
Couple more guys.
Based on your expectations at the beginning of the season, where do you think the gaps are to where you are now as a team?
Gaps, I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Based on expectations
Uh-huh.
at the beginning of the season, where you would want to be at this point?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And the reason, kind of the gaps of where you are now to
Yeah.
the expectations of where you want it to be.
Yeah, I think the expectation every year for me is I know a lot of our guys, we don't wake up early and, not around our families all the time. Don't get to take my kids to school every day. We don't do that to go 1-7, or whatever we are, 1-7. That's not why I do this, I promise. And so the expectation was every time I take the field, I believe with everything in me we're going to win the game. There's never a doubt, almost to a fault, honestly. And so the fact that that's not happening, that's up to coaches and general managers to figure out why isn't that happening, right? Those gaps I think we're talking about. My job is to play quarterback. My job is to lead those guys, to bring us more together, throw completions. That's what Coach Gruden tells me to do, throw completions. And so that's what I'm trying to do, And, number one thing, he said, don't turn the ball over. And I let the ball slip out of my hands today. That's where I need to be better. And so for me, I just look at it for me. I can't talk about gaps for anybody else, but for me, I can't fumble the ball in that situation. It's third down, trying to let a play happen, and he rips it out of my hand, can't happen.
Last one.
Up front, Cole Miller, he exits the very first series with the knee.
Yeah.
Clutchy, bump outside eventually.
Yep.
Silverman's playing right and left tackle.
Yeah.
Or just a mixing and matching. What was it like today in the pocket, and just
Yeah.
the complications that arise when you have so many moving pieces up front?
Yeah, I mean, those guys will tell you, man, when they're in their spots and they've seen the games and the blitzes all from that spot, it makes it harder on those guys when they got to go to a new spot because of an injury. And that's not a knock on anybody, man. Someone gets banged up or things like that, they got to move, and that makes it harder. And again, we don't make excuses, but it does make it harder. There's those guys. He takes every rep at, I'm not saying anybody in particular, but left guard. Now he has to go out to right tackle or vice versa, even left guard to right guard. The difference is so drastic that it's not even funny. So I felt that obviously they were trying to do their best, and a couple of times we got edgy. I was able to get outside the pocket and hit some plays and those kind of things. But, I mean, when those kind of things are happening, they're shuffling. We're just trying to figure out the right thing to win the game, honestly. And I give credit to the coaches. They just said, hey, we're going to figure it out to protect you, man. They know what they're doing. I know that. And so it's not easy for them either, whenever they got to keep shifting guys that haven't even taken a rep, not even one rep at one spot, let alone a couple of guys.